What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best lightning spear Amazon build in Path of Exile 2. This setup is a fresh and powerful combination of the new Huntress ascendancy and the lightning based spear skills. We are going to be combining very high damage to create devastating zones that electrocute and trap enemies in a single place. Right now this setup is easily one of the fastest and most efficient options for mob farming and speed leveling. And as you can see from the gameplay, enemies are getting wiped out in a matter of seconds. Even bosses will not stand a chance, thanks to our high single target damage by spamming the lightning spear in the combination with the storm lance and our key buffs. However, at some point in the later game, some lower gear players might run into a mana problem, but lucky for us, the Huntress has many tools to address this problem, and with optimized gear we need nothing more than a single stat roll on our weapon or gear to completely solve this issue. So let me show you the build, and for the main class we are going with the Huntress and our ascendancy is Amazon. Then for the first kill we have Spear Stab with no support gems. Then second we got the Herald of Thunder with magnified effect and innervate. Then next we got Storm Lance with concentrated effect, lightning infusion and primal armament. Next we have Lightning Spear with a scatter shot and Rising Tempest. Then for the next one we have the Sniper's Mark with persistence and profusion. Then next we got Barrage with premeditation and arcane tempo. Then next we got the Combat Frenzy with precision. And finally we're using Explosive Shot with overabundance and fire infusion. Most of this setup is structured around using the Lightning Spear with a Storm Lance to delete enemies in split seconds. So we use gems and skills that will support and increase their duration, size and damage, while the rest are powerful buffs and utility skills that usually get activated in the background. Next we also have a leveling build in case if you are watching this video when starting your journey from level 1 and you want to use it up until about level 25. So first off we have the Whirling Slash with the primal armament. Then next we have the Herald of Thunder with the lightning penetration. Next we got Storm Lance with concentrated effect and lightning infusion. Next up we have Lightning Spear with the martial tempo and innervate. Next we also have the Sniper's Mark with persistence and profusion. And finally we are using Barrage with premeditation and arcane tempo. Next up we have our passive tree, and if you're interested in a full in-depth guide on how it works, then check out my beginner guide. So let's take a look at our setup, and we first of all want to start at this projectile damage node, and then go like this while taking all of these four, such as the Honed Instincts, Eagle Eye, Blur and the Vile Wounds. Next up we keep on moving forwards while grabbing these two, so Sheathing Skin and the Escape Velocity. Then from here we want to go like this and then take the Harness the Elements. And then from here just keep on going like this while selecting Catalysts and the Maiming Strike. Then when we get to this endpoint, then from here we want to first of all take the whole bottom left side. And then after that is done, then just go up to the top and get all of these nodes. And in order in which you do it doesn't really matter that much. All of these nodes that we got are very useful, but the ones I mentioned have the top priority, as they're the most important ones to acquire early on in the game, to make our build functional, and then later on the priority won't really matter that much. Also, as far as attributes go, you just simply want to fulfill your attribute requirements for gear and gems, and then after that spend the rest in dexterity. And then now let's go all the way to the middle again, and for ascendancy build, this is what we have. So at the beginning you want to unlock the elemental infusion. This will empower the Amazon to become a conduit for raw elemental forces, especially lightning, by focusing on agility, precise strikes and devastating elemental effects. Then second we want the critical strike. This will transform us into a precision based assassin, by relying on high crit chance, deadly multipliers and a rapid execution. It will be all about striking fast, striking true and making every hit potentially lethal. And unlike the brute force builds, the crit Amazon will thrive on calculated offense, so you'll be stacking crit chance, crit multipliers and attack speed to turn even basic spear skills into a very high DPS attacks. Then next we want Infused Avatar. This will combine body and energy into one seamless force. This ascendancy is all about adaptive elemental empowerment, giving you very quick boosts called infusions, which are based on your skill usage, movement and combat rhythm. All of this will result in a fast and responsive build that constantly will shift between powerful elemental modes. And then finally for our fourth option we want Penetrate. Whether it's elemental resistances, armor, evasion or energy shields, this will give us a massive damage boost. The Penetrate ascendancy is not just about damage, it's about ensuring that your damage always lands. So because of this we will thrive on debuffing, piercing and breaking defenses, which makes it ideal for dealing consistent, high value hits in both fast paced and long boss fights. Next up we have our Atlas passives, and the general idea behind this is to aim for bonus passives that spawn a lot of grouped up monsters, like in expeditions or in rituals. So when we start, we wanna first of all go to the left side and get all of these nodes until the seasonal blessing, then circle back a little and keep on going until the high road. But of course on your way you can get the ecological shift, and then lastly go all the way to the middle and then get the top nodes. But then on top of this we also have sub passives, and their order in which you unlock them doesn't really matter, so this time it's up to you. And this is how it should look like for the ritual. Then next we have Delirium, then third we have bosses. Then on top of that we have the pinnacle bosses. Then next we also have our expedition setup, and then finally our breach setup. Next we have gear. The weapon of our choice is the Helix Spear with the accuracy rating, increased physical damage, increased attack speed and more levels of all projectile skills. Then also we got an offhand called the Lycoside Shield, and from this we get bunch of armor, increased block chance, our accuracy is doubled, and when blocking we deal extra damage to enemies. However, this unique is not required, and if you can't afford it or get it, then any normal shield will work as well, just try to look for something similar. Then for helmet we have the Chopper Hood with evasion, accuracy rating, dexterity and fire resistance. Then for chest we have the Shrouded Vest with evasion, max life and chaos resistance. Then for belt we have the Long Belt with increased charm duration, max life, and cold fire and chaos resistance. Then for gloves we got the Barbed Braces with evasion, accuracy, then even more evasion, more to all elemental resistances and chaos resistance. Then for boots we're using the Lace Boots with evasion, increased movement speed, even more evasion and cold resistance. Then for our first ring we got the Emerald Ring with accuracy, dexterity and fire resistance, while for the second one we have the Topaz Ring with bunch of lightning resistance. And then finally for amulet we have the Bloodstone Amulet with max life, increased rating and increased rarity of items found. No matter which gear you choose, just at least try to get 75% resistance cap on all 4 elements. This is the best case scenario setup, which would be more of an example of what stats and prefixes to look for. Then next we have runes. During early item progression, most gear will be sacred with resistant runes. However, once your elemental resistances have been capped and resistant runes are no longer necessary, then you want to opt in to increase your maximum life with body runes or consider sacting a soul core. So right now on my weapon I'm using the Vision runes, then on my shield I got a Desert rune, and then finally on gloves I got an Iron rune. Then on top of this we need to quickly look into the charms. Charms are incredibly useful, as by having the right one equipped at the right time can save you from dying. For me personally, I like to use the Stone charm for stuns. Then second we got the Taving charm for when we become frozen. And then finally we want the Amethyst charm for chaos damage. But as I've said, which one you choose will entirely depend on the enemies that you're fighting. So feel free to experiment and mix and match. Another important decision is anointments. So first up we want Overwhelming Strike, which increases our critical hit chance and builds up more stun. Then second we want the Vulgar Method, which increases critical hit chance but reduces max mana, so only use it if you don't run into a mana problem. And then lastly we got the Relentless Vindicator. This increases critical hit chance and increases our overall damage, which is super powerful. And now finally, let's quickly take a look at how this build will work. So our rotation is quite simple, but you will need to get used to it. What we want to do is first of all engage enemies by casting the Storm Lance to establish damaging zones, then follow that up with the Lightning Spear to pierce through and finish off huge amount of targets. This combination allows for very fast clearing of maps and efficient leveling. And also against bosses, the high single target damage from the Lightning Spear, enhanced by the Stormlance's persistent damage, will ensure the same quick takedowns as with AoV mobs. However, as I mentioned at the start, in the later stages of the game, some players might encounter mana sustainability issue. But lucky for us, Amazon will offer a bunch of tools to address this, and with optimized gear such as items with mana leech or reduced mana cost modifiers, this issue can be effectively resolved. And thanks to our ascendancy and passive tree scaling, our most important skill, the Lightning Spear, will become a rapid fire projectile of death. He will pierce, crit often and synergize perfectly with a shock effect to ramp up your damage in few seconds. Most of the enemies won't survive more than a second or two once you've combined both of our skills. And for trash monsters, it's all about speed. So just run, cast Stormlance mid-stride, and toss few Lightning Spears to clear entire screens. The build's high mobility makes it perfect for fast mapping, and it is ideal for both league starters and experienced players that are trying to rush endgame content. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous top 3 best meta builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds, so click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.